Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to the PHLY Flyers Pregame Show presented by Coors Light. Visit CoorsLight.com/PHLY Hockey to get Coors Light delivered or to find a store near you. My name's Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for this pregame, and I am joined by Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. How we doing tonight, Hanks?
What is up? I'm excited about sports.
I am. It's very funny. We're just we're talking before the show actually goes live, and listen. I think the Flyers are going to be better at points this year than they've been. Like even last year, October wasn't exactly like right out of the gates. Oh, they're going to overachieve this year. Took them a little bit. It was really like that loss to the Sharks, and then they got going from there, where it all started to come together. Remember those first couple of Ersson games? It was like, oh, this is a disaster. And then he got it together and things started to go well. That said, because we're expecting, Carolina, one of the highest scoring teams in hockey, one of, if not the best defensive team in hockey, we're not expecting this to go particularly well for the Flyers tonight. So, of course, they're going to win 2-1 in a shootout, right? That's how this is going to go.
Yep. Holding Carolina to 15, 16 shots over the course of the game.
Yeah.
It's going to be
probably get 40.
Sure.
Light up Peter Kochetkov, Kolosov looks like the next big thing. That's probably what's going to happen because,
perfect.
If I were to guess, final exact score when we do the bets later, not doing that, but just saying, 4-1 seems like the way this is going to go for the, in favor of the Canes. So it's probably going to go the other way. But let's get into the lineup tonight, Hinkle. We talked about this a bit on yesterday's show, and basically the same, but a couple of things have changed thanks to some injuries and some unforeseen circumstances. We're going to have Sean Couturier with Tyson Foerster and Matvei Michkov. We saw that a bit in the last game. When was it? Saturday's game, and now they are together. They did well, the three of them together, so maybe we're going to see probably some pretty tough minutes for Michkov tonight because you're with the two best defensive forwards against a team that's usually on offense. So they're going to be expected to carry a load tonight. Then you see Frost with Tippett and Konechny. Konechny and Forster have traded spots in the top six. And then the Lawton, Farabee, Brink line. Those guys have been generating chances when they're out there. They're not on offense a ton, but when they are, stuff happens. And now we have Cates, Hathaway, and Delorier filling in. Ryan Poehling out tonight. Not on the trip, at least to start, as he deals with some family issues, as Charlie tweeted out earlier today. I believe John Tortorella said in his availability earlier. So that's part of the reason I think we're going to see some tough minutes for Mish with Coots and Forster because, Cates, if he's out there with Poehling, it's like, they're gonna take some tough defensive matchups, but with Delorier, it's just a different matchup. It's a different line. So I'm thinking we're gonna see a lot of the top line tonight.
I don't think you're wrong. I know we haven't gotten to the D pairs yet, but my eye is just immediately drawn to that third pair, and I'm terrified of it. Because like you said, this is a team in the Carolina Hurricanes that is extremely talented offensively and spends a lot of time with the puck. So eventually those guys are going to have to get some minutes, and it'll be interesting to see how they hold up.
That's the thing. There's no back-to-backs till the end of the month. So I don't think Torts is going to be shy with ice time for his top pair of Sanheim and Risto, but there's also not a ton of days off, even without the back-to-backs. And it's not exactly rest for the weary. You go to Tampa in 2 days, and then you go see the champs on the defending champs on Saturday in Florida. So it's not like there's a clunker in here. There's not a game where it's, we can get a lot out of them. And that's when you look at the defense. Zamula draws in for Eric Johnson. We wondered when Yegor Zamula. I'm really trying hard to get the Yegor thing down.
I know.
I feel like it was Igor last year, and this year it's Yegor again.
With me and not Charlie, this is a safe space. I say everyone's name wrong, so you're in a judgment-free zone right
I'm
now.
just trying to live up to the Jim Jackson standard of
I
being
know.
right. Like
We
I'm
all
supposed to be
should.
right.
We all
It's my
should.
job. It's a man's name. You should
Yeah.
get it right. But
Yegor.
we're looking at Yegor Zamula drawing back into the lineup tonight. He'll play with Emil Andre, who stays in. Eric Johnson comes out, I believe, 3 games shy now of 1,000. And okay, this is gonna be a test. I'm skeptical of how many minutes they're going to get, but again, they have to play some. It's not a playoff game. You're not going 30 for Sanheim and Risto, you know.
No, and yeah, I'm wondering if like part of me is kind of hoping that the few days off, well, a little bit more than a few days off that Zamula has had, maybe we'll start to see something more resembling last year's Zamula, which, wasn't great. Like, he wasn't blowing the doors off, but he also wasn't terrible. Like, he was fine for the most part. If he could just be fine, I think we'd be okay with that, because before he got benched or scratched, he's pretty actively bad. So like,
He was.
if we could just get away from actively bad, I think we'd all be okay.
I'm hoping now, because with Eric Johnson, you know what you're getting out of Eric Johnson, but there's not going to be a ton of you're not going to defer to him a lot. And now Emil Andre, only a few games of NHL experience, but he looks like a pretty solid puck mover. Zamula maybe can simplify his game, do less, just focus on being in the right place, being right defensively, supporting the breakouts. And maybe we can just get a little bit back to, like you said, last year's Zamula, because last year's Zamula absolutely looked like maybe not a core piece. Like, not, oh man, well, we can't lose Zamula by, that's not who he was. But a guy, like, we can put him out there and it's not going to be a disaster. Exactly. And that's a lot of what we saw to start the seasons. But to start this season, maybe now with we know what we're getting. He's not going to be with Risto. He's not going to be with Johnson. Sealer, Drysdale have some games together. Sanheim, Risto. Now it's just play your role. Be you. And we can get a little bit better. And that brings us now to the goaltenders. Sam Ersson making the trip. He's going to be with the team. So if he's good to go, maybe Thursday, maybe Saturday. They told us a week. A week would be Saturday. It's going to be a test here, though. But Alexei Kolosov and Ivan Fedotov are your goalies tonight. Kolosov gets the start. By all accounts, if this game plays out the way the two teams have played leading up to now, Kolosov going to see a lot of pucks. He is going to get a test. And while you don't want to see a young goalie like so much be put on him, at the same time, hey kid, you told us you were ready. Show us. Like, guess what happens if you play well tonight? You ain't going back anytime soon. Like, he's probably not going back anytime soon, regardless, because of the Fedotov situation. But I am excited to see what he does tonight, because he's the guy I'm looking at to go, show me something, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's right now, it's kind of like the biggest question mark that we have. And there's kind of a lot of hope tied up in it, because I think we've all kind of written off Ivan Fedotov, unfortunately. At this point, I have anyway. So, I would like to see Kolosov go in there and, like, maybe you're not going to have your best game against a team like the Carolina Hurricanes because they're just so good offensively. But if I see him, making some difficult saves and looking steady and at least not giving up any clunkers, like, that's going to make me feel a lot better about things. And also, you mentioned Ersson being on the trip. That's really great, in my opinion, because, I mean, it's the Flyers, and them saying, he'll be back in a week, meaningless to me.
Maybe.
Like, that could, maybe a week, maybe 14 weeks, who knows? But him being on the trip tells me that it's definitely not that bad, because they're bringing him. So they're thinking, hey, maybe he'll play before we even get home.
And that brings us to the injuries right now. And it's both Ersson and York making the trip, at least. So we'll see if we get to see them maybe in Tampa, maybe in Sunrise on Saturday. But whatever it is, they told us it's not that serious, and perhaps it really isn't. And that is a step in the right direction, at least for my confidence in what they tell us about guys who are injured. And fairly or unfairly, we've talked about this for a couple of years now. yeah, you can tell me anything. I don't believe it. You know, like I'm
No.
still waiting to hear what's wrong with Ryan Ellis. You know? I guess we're never going to hear that. Just like, yeah, he's gone. But if we can get York back, that would be cool to see. And Sam Ersson, so much of this season is finding out exactly how much can be expected out of Sam Ersson, so we can address the goalie situation from there. Is he a tandem guy? Is he just a backup? Can he be a number one? Getting him back without missing a ton of starts, pretty cool. And you don't want to create a situation for Kolosov that Ersson was in just a year ago, where
That's true.
Hey, man, we know you're not ready for this, and you might never be this guy, but you're starting every game. Good luck. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah,
like, you can't tell anything about a guy from that when he starts 31 out of 36 or whatever it was.
And this is like, you know, he's getting thrown into this in quite possibly the worst possible spot, just because this slate of games is just like nothing but dudes that score goals. So
tough stretch.
It's like it's like a rough spot for him. And so I don't want to see his like whatever confidence he might have get like completely destroyed just by the fact that like he's happening to face 3 incredibly good teams behind a team that's not really playing at its best right now. Like, it's really not an ideal situation for this kid to kick off whatever his NHL career is going to look like. So hopefully he does his best.
No, and the Flyers have played better-ish lately.
Yeah.
By that, I mean their defensive structure looks like the team from last year. They're blocking a ton of shots. They're not giving up as many high-danger chances. They're not giving up as many odd-man rushes. They look more organized, more like a team that's played together before, at least on their side of the red line. But there's just going to be, if they haven't created anything, they haven't sustained any pressure offensively yet, and against a team in Carolina who their whole thing is we have the puck, we throw a ton of pucks on net, he's going to be tested. Like, they could play as well defensively as possible. If they can't sustain any offensive pressure the way they haven't been able to the last few games, really all season, it's just going to be a shooting gallery. You're hoping they can at least keep Kolosov clean so that he's not facing second and third opportunities all freaking night, because if he does, it's going to get ugly. Like, he could play well and it could get ugly. And we'll see how they handle the goalie situation from here, but it looks at least as if from the injury perspective, 2 guys going to be back sooner than later, and that's great to hear. This Ryan Poehling thing, though, Charlie said dealing with family issues. That's what came straight from Tortorella. Not on the trip. I don't want to speculate on what it could be, because it could be literally anything.
Yeah.
But with him out, it does change, like I said, how I think the lines could be deployed, especially in some games against some teams where you're going to be on defense. You need tough minutes out of that fourth line. You would think with Poehling and Cates and Hathaway, it's like, oh, well, we can use them kind of as that secondary line at least. But with Deloria, it's a totally different thing.
I know. That kind of sucks, because that fourth line, like, of all of the things that have been going terribly for the Flyers over the last couple of years, like, that fourth line really has, like, on a good team, that's a really good fourth line. Like, they're solid. And so it would have been really nice to have at least those 3 guys that we know play well together, can take tough minutes, and occasionally do something cool. Like, it would have been nice to have them. Nick Deslauriers doesn't really bring the same kind of energy as Ryan Poehling. He brings a different kind of energy that I don't know that you need against the Carolina Hurricanes. But if he can just like hold it together, like there are a few guys in the lineup tonight that we really need them to just not be the worst versions of themselves. And the Flyers might get out of this game without it looking like an abject disaster.
Before I saw the Flyers tweet about, Deslauriers's coming in, all that stuff, I was just like, yo, are they going to go 11-7 tonight? And I was like, oh, right. No, they have another healthy forward. Right. It's just this Nick Deslauriers, and they're not going to do that to him, I don't think. Depending on
not yet.
Yeah, maybe Thursday, maybe Saturday, but at least for now, they're going to go with the traditional 12-6. I just thought to myself for a second, like, ooh, is this an 11-7 situation? Because they want to get Zamula in, and all right, and that, okay, Johnson's coming out there, but I just like blanked, but it crossed my mind. I do wonder if we see it sometime in the near future. We know, again, Tortorella not shy about the 11-7 either. All right, and that brings us, now we'll get to tonight's bets, Hinkle, and I don't know if Neil Dexter is here when we do the remote shows. I can't see the comments. But
I'm seeing them, and I haven't seen Neil yet. And honestly, I don't know who he thinks he is, but he works here now. So
yeah, Neil,
go up, bud. You're on pre-games
yeah.
now, dude.
Granted, like, we're not going to pay you, you know,
and not in American dollars. We'll pay you in accolades and friendship.
Yeah, absolutely. Really. You know, we can, it's through exposure, Hinkle. You know, you get the exposure. That's huge for a guy who's probably not trying to make his name in business. But this pregame pick segment is brought to you by Bet365. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. And I am going with my usual former Flyers bets tonight, Hinks. Don't have anything on Walker, but I got a couple of Shane Gostisbehere bets. Gostisbehere, anytime goal, plus 400. He has 4 on the season, second only to Cale Makar among defensemen. Why wouldn't he get one tonight the way that they're going? And Shane Gostisbehere over half a point, plus 110. He's near the, I think, 8th among defensemen in total points. So we're going with him continuing his hot start to the season scoring. And simply because, you know, they're going to be on offense the whole game, probably Carolina is. Give me that Nick Seeler over 3.5 block shots at plus 135. I know 4 is a pretty big number for block shots. That's decent, but he's going to be out there. They're going to be on defense. And plus 135 on a Nick Seeler block shot prop. It's like, I don't care what the number is. I want the plus money. So we're going to take that. Those are the bets for tonight. I'm really, like the way we talked at the very beginning, Hinkle, like, oh, well, this is the perfect game. I'm counting them out entirely. So yeah, they're probably going to win 2-1. I'm looking at, they'll probably score a bunch. Like they'll have another 7-goal game, but I was thinking about Frost to get his first, at 5-1 and Tippett maybe to just finally get another one. He's only got 1 on the season, plus 275. Because why wouldn't they score against the best defensive team in the league? But I'm just not going to. I'm just not putting any more money on Owen Tippett because
fair.
Yeah, I need to buy my wife Christmas gifts at some point, you know?
Exactly.
But if you know how my bets have gone this year, do the opposite of me. Maybe you think you want to bet an over. Maybe you think you want to bet Frost to get his first, Tippett to get his second. I couldn't do any worse than I have been. So this has been the pregame pick segment brought to you by Bet365. This is the PHLY Flyers pregame show presented by Coors Light. Choose chill, choose Coors Light. I think we could all use an ice cold Coors Light tonight as we settle in to watch the most important thing in the world, Flyers Hurricanes.
Exactly.
Down in Raleigh. You know what else is important coming up this week, though? Oh, watch party on Saturday, damn it. Come on out to Screwballs in King of Prussia. We're starting at 5:30. There's going to be a live pre- and post-game show. Come and have beers. If you go to allphly.com right now, get a $10 ticket. What the $10 ticket gets you is a spot in our raffle, and among the raffle prizes includes 2 box seats to the Golden Knights game later this season with $30. That's right, $30 in concession credits on those tickets. So that's pretty cool, man. And 2 complimentary Coors Lights. Why wouldn't you want 2 free beers and an entry into our raffle for just $10? So check that out at allphly.com right now, and make sure you come out to King of Prussia. Screwballs. This Saturday the 9th, starting at 5:30. All right, Hanks, let's get to the Hurricanes because, honestly, I love talking about former Flyers, especially our guy Shane Gostisbehere. I know it was never going to work here the way things went over the last few years, but damn it, you always knew he had this because he's in the right situations, has shown it to us. And you look at Ghost, and guess who his D partner is? Sean Walker. I want to start with their advanced numbers. I checked out the some of the nerd sites. Checked out today Natural Stat Trick, and if you sort defensive pairs with at least 60 minutes played together at 5-on-5, sort by expected goals percentage, they're all the way at the top at almost 77.5%. That seems good in what's that, like 120 plus minutes? Wow, they are killing it together.
That does seem very good. We were joking before the show about how like we could really use a Shane Goss to spare on this team. Where do you even find such a player?
It kills me simply because, and it was years ago, and like the Sean Walker thing, I think it's just kind of funny that they're together. There was no world in which it made sense to do anything but trade Sean Walker. I'm not complaining about that. And had they re-signed him, I would have been like, that's foolish. What are we doing here? We're not going to compete for a few seasons. It's just funny that they're together. But the Shane Gostisbehere stuff, man, like, you got a guy in the later rounds who turned out. Yeah. And that's the thing they've needed so badly, is one of those diamonds in the rough. You know, we talk all the time about Oscar Lindblom, and like that's out of everyone's control. Dude led the team in goals and then gets cancer. Like, are you kidding me? That's just some Flyers luck right there. And obviously, more important than Flyers luck, the young man himself. You know, it affected his life and his career adversely. But like, Shane Gostisbehere was that dude. He was exciting. He was fun. And pretty damn good in the right situations, and we traded him for nothing. Not only nothing, we gave a draft pick to get rid of him. He was a straight dump, and here he is, really good again.
Well, that's the thing. Like, a player like Shane Gostisbehere, and this is something that I've been complaining about with the Flyers for, I feel like, my entire life. Like, Shane Gostisbehere is the type of player where you can't have a role and a box that you want him to be in. Like, this is my defenseman box. If you're going to play on my team, you must fit in this box. You have to take a player like Shane Gostisbehere and you have to see what he's good at, and you have to like foster it and put him in the position to use it effectively and to make the team better. And Carolina is like precisely the team that's going to do that with a guy like Shane Gostisbehere. So it's like, if he was here, he wouldn't be like this because Torts wouldn't like him. They would, well, maybe he would.
He likes Emil Andre. Like, he likes guys with skill sets that are outside of everything else he has.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at like Jamie Drysdale and what we're hoping Drysdale can be. And we're hoping he could be more now. It's still like, I'm still holding out hope he could be a boat. But honestly, if Jamie Drysdale turns into what Shane Gostisbehere is, that's a win.
Yes.
Like, hopefully he can be more. Hopefully he could be a top pair or top 4 defenseman that you play in every situation, and his offense and his skating, it all works so that he's way better than I think he can be. But damn, man, if he's just Ghost, like, I'll take it and then some.
Yeah. Imagine how much less bad our power play would have been over the last few years. I'm not saying it would have been good, because who knows, but it would have been less bad.
That's
with the Shane Gostisbehere.
Ghost on this power play with Mish. It's like, man, that could be something. But I guess we cannot live in the past forever. So I want to look at the current standings and the Hurricanes as a whole, because it's not just about Ghost. You look at the Metro division, and they don't have the most total points, but everyone has different number. Like, it's the Devils, with their first 2 games of the season starting while other teams still had preseason. They played 15 games already. But if you sort the Metro by points percentage, Carolina up there 8-2-0, 6 of their 8 wins in regulation. They are off to a really, really strong start to this season. Like I've said, 3.9 goals a game. That's 5th in the league, 5th in scoring. 2.3 goals against the game. That's the second fewest in the league. 35.9 shots on goal a game. First in the league. 24.3 shots against the game. First in the league. They have the puck a lot. They create a ton of scoring chances. They score a lot of goals. They don't play a ton of defense, and that makes them the best defensive team.
Right, exactly. It's almost as if William, and I think maybe you might have said this before, that if you have the puck, the other team can't score a goal.
You're good
So
defensively.
You're on defense, technically, if
like
you're always on offense.
The way the rules are now, you can be the best. You can have like all of the best defensive defensemen you want. You can have the best structure like a John Tortorella team will. You are eventually going to give up a goal or take a penalty. You are going to put yourself in a bad situation. The best defense is simply not being on defense. You've already lost if you're on defense. Yep. It's really just a matter of time. And Carolina shows that. Like, maybe we don't have superstars the way Colorado or Tampa Bay does. But if we have a lot of real good players and we're always on offense, yeah, we're going to score. And that shows. Right. They're almost 4 goals a game. I think, honestly, Carolina, I've always wanted to see Carolina make a run. Like, yeah, I love Rod Brendamore, all that. Now, Dr. T is the GM, so that's cool. But if the Flyers were ever going to do something the way they're building right now, it's kind of in the Carolina model. So I want that confirmation that it can be done. Maybe this is the year.
Someone very smart picked them to come out of the East.
Someone very smart did, Hinkle. One of our best, honestly. I mean, I picked Nashville to win the freaking President's Trophy. That's not exactly going. Not exactly. Yeah, plenty of time still. It's only November 5th. Yeah. It could always turn around from here. But now we're running short on time. So let's see those super chats.
Super chats.
All right. We got one from Gritty Ross. Hinks, tell Bill how to pronounce my handle, please.
Gritzy Ross.
Gritzy. Oh, this has been said to me before.
Friend of the pod.
I see the letters. I'm not reading the whole thing. It's like that thought exercise where they show you a bunch of misspelled words, but it's kind of right. And you're like, yeah, I know what that says. I'm sorry, Gritzy. Yes, Gritzy Ross. Thank you. I will do my best to commit this to memory. That's a much easier one to read than like the W Boro goal.
Who Boro goal or whatever. I can't say that one either.
This one's on me. I should have this. It's not really all that difficult to figure out.
Everyone pay $1 and phonetically spell your handles in the super chats so that we don't mess them up anymore.
Yeah, or don't. Do we have any other super chats? No, I do not believe we do. So that's it for the super chats, Hanks. All right. Couple minutes left. Let's hit the predictions for tonight. How do you think it's going to go?
I'm going to say 3-1 Flyers.
I'm going to say 4-1 Carolina because that's like the most probable outcome. If Charlie was here,
he'd be coward's prediction.
Yes, it absolutely is. I want to be right about something. I'm so rarely right, Hinkle. I want to say 4-1 Carolina because that is the most likely outcome. The way Charlie always think about things in percentages, not yes and no, but all shades of gray.
50-50.
But this so much to me, like you got Kolosov in, Zamul is coming back in, York's not playing, Paling's missing the game. We don't know why. It seems as if this is going to go so wrong for the Flyers. These are the situations they come through. The ones we expect them to do well, it's like, and it's a disaster.
Right.
But when we think it's just about, turn out the lights, they do some Flyers stuff and hook us for the next 2 weeks.
Exactly.
I think you are going to be more right than me. And we just got a super chat just in under the wire from Adrian Franklin. He says, let's effing go.
Yes.
And I second that. I am rooting hard tonight because why the hell not? Why not get into this stupid game tonight and see if the Flyers can pull off a huge upset? And it is huge. Carolina's like plus 320 or Carolina's like minus 320 or something on the money line. Like they are considerable favorites tonight. So we will see how this goes. But that is all the time we have for you on the PHLY Flyers pregame show presented by Coors Light. Visit CoorsLight.com/PHLY hockey to get Coors Light delivered or to find a store near you. That's it for us. Make sure you're right here on the PHLY Sports YouTube page for postgame. We'll be back as soon as the game goes final. Charlie will have the report from Raleigh on all the things the coach and team said. He'll be joining us in postgame. But that's it for right now. Until then, Let's go Flyers.